It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. Tonight, on Trains and Tech, we're going to take a look at all of the things that are closing in on me in this room. I haven't even unloaded all the stuff down in my storage room, and already things seem to be coming at me from all directions. Every surface seems to keep getting piled up more and more things. I'm looking around a little bit because I was about to start the stream. I realized I hadn't checked to see if my microphone worked yet. And I realized it wasn't working. And luckily, it was only because I hadn't turned it on. So I had a power on my microphone. Otherwise, I would have been doing this whole conversation without any audio whatsoever. As you guys may have seen, I don't remember where I posted it or if I posted it, but I've completely rehung my camera and I've lowered everything down. So hopefully I won't have to be looking up at things as much as I usually do. So if my camera seems a little like off or out of wonky, whatever, just let me know. I'll update it. Yeah, why is it? If there's a horizontal surface, it'll always attract stuff. Part of the problem, I don't have any track down, so I think that could be why a lot of my flat surfaces attract things, but even when there's track down, stuff just seems to pile up and pile up and pile up. Oh, no, you're still at eye level, so I'm still looking kind of. You can see how high the camera is because as I go back, you can see I like get lower in the frame. So if the camera was actually looking up at me, I would get I wouldn't quite. Anyway, it's all wonky. So I've got a little story to tell about a little item that I got in the mail, and I think some of you may already know the story. Some of you might not. I feel like I'm not in the center of the camera. Is it bothering anybody else as much as it's bothering me that I'm not in the center of the camera? I mean, it could just be me. There we go. Is that better? I don't know. Like, where am I gonna? We'll see where. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm all wonky. That's for sure. Well, and Dave, I don't know where stuff comes from. I know where. Okay, I do know where certain things come from. So I do need to talk about this for a little bit. So let's talk about pink foam. As a lot of people know, the foundation of a lot of the things that that we as model railroaders build, we make out of, you stand back a little farther to the light. I moved the light, everything, it's all a mess. We build things out of pink foam. So there was somebody in the community that was posting a video, and they were building everything out of pink foam, and they were building a castle, and the movie of the month was the Barbie movie, which, as we all know, is pink. So I started giving this person a hard time that they were making Barbie's dream castle, because they were making a castle and that's what it looked like when it was all pink foam. So I started giving them a hard time about it, and it just sort of caught on as this thing. They were not making Barbie's dream castle. Let's just be clear about that. It turned into this really incredible, I don't know how, like with dragons and all kinds of, it turned into this really interesting thing, but it started out as Barbie's dream castle. So now we have this little side joke going about, where's the pink, like what's going on. So I get a package in the mail the other day, and I'll mention something in a second that we're talking about, that I was expecting a package, but not this soon. So I was a little confused when I got a package in the mail, and it wasn't quite the right size. So, but I knew I was getting a package for this person. So I was like, okay, so I opened the package and I pulled so this is what I pulled out. And I've been told that I need to show it off. So I guess, if you're gonna make jokes about things, I guess sometimes you got to be prepared to have those jokes, bounce back on you a little bit. So I now have in my collection. It's not a castle. That would have been pretty funny though too. I don't know if they make any N scale Barbie castles, but that would have been pretty good. Rusty, it is not that type of stream, so I will not be doing that. But the item is already unboxed, so we don't have to wait for an unboxing. Not a Barbie N scale boxcar, although I do have several boxcars that they're not Barbie-esque. They're, what are they? Breast cancer awareness. Boy, I couldn't remember what they were. So it is not the breast cancer awareness cars, but it is pink. So I guess I've dragged out long enough showing this. Steve's in Tokyo. Okay, so here's the item I got. So if you're gonna make jokes online, be careful, because you may end up with a pink Barbie convertible. So yes, I don't have the pink Barbie Dream Castle, but I do now have a 1956 pink Barbie Corvette, just like the one seen in the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, you can go out and you can see Anyway, so it was really funny when I got this in the mail, but if you don't know who it came from, I'll make you go out there and look around a little bit, but you'll, Tommy's jealous. Yeah, so I think if I was going to try and do anything Barbie, it would probably have to be the Kate McKinnon, whatever it was, overused Barbie, because I'm sure nothing I make would be square or okay, so it is a little big for HO, but I do have some S scale. So you know, maybe one day we'll have to take this out and put it next to the S scale trains. The other thing that I did find that's kind of funny is that it has a limited lifetime warranty, but it's guaranteed for life. So if it's guaranteed for life, how is that a limited lifetime warranty? Anyway, so I do want to talk about something that Roy, if you weren't here last week, if people don't know, because Roy missed it last week. I showed him off last week, but Roy did send me some HO scale items. They're all MTA related items. There were 2 MTA buses and 2 MTA subway cars. So those are now also a part of my collection. But that was so last week. That was so. Oh, Thomas, I think you do a good job wasting your own time. Oh, what bus lines? Of course, the New Yorker. This looks like the Q32. Is that right? And I don't know what the other one. The other one is so buried under stuff right now. I can't even get to it. So here's something I want to ask people though. Over the holidays, I like to do something train related esque to kind of bring people into the hobby, inspire people to do stuff with trains or whatever. 2 years ago, we gave away some model railroad train sets. We didn't really do anything last year. I was just too busy to do it. But this year, I've already started to prepare to do something. And I don't know exactly how this is all going to work, but I'm kind of just gauging interest in this a little bit. And if I'm really asking because I'm looking for people that have a suggestion on a charity that we could possibly raise some money to support. Basically, I want to support bringing more kids into model railroading, but specifically, I think around autism. I think it's really interesting how our hobby attracts and is a place for autistic people to, express themselves and have fun, and they can show up and be who they are. So I thought this year for Christmas, what I would do is there's a woman in the community that does that paints up cars in a in like what she calls an autism scheme. I don't know. It's not really odd. Anyway, the idea is to get some custom painted cars and basically do a fun, like separate thing. So you're not buying the cars, but we'll do a giveaway of the cars. There'll be an HO and an N scale car for a giveaway, but then we'll also do like a raise some money or something like that for some charity that either supports families and model railroading, or specifically that that targets autism and model railroading, but something along those lines. So if people have any ideas about charities that would would fit that, reach out to me and let me know. I think there's probably a lot of people that could be considering high functioning on the spectrum that are participants in model railroads. But yeah, so I think it's just, it's in the hobby, it's around. So I'm thinking of doing that for the holidays. Actually, I'm going to do it for the holidays, whether people want me to do it or not for the holidays. But if people have any suggestions of where we could raise the money, like for like what charity or what group. I don't want to do it for one of the big national organizations. Definitely just want to do it with something smaller and more railroad focused. So if anybody has any ideas, reach out. It has gotten warm in here. I don't know why. It's like I don't have any lights on or anything, but it's definitely gotten warm in here. Do I have anything to talk about now? 15 minutes in, I'm already running out of things. Now, we'll see. Here we go. So, it just seems like no matter what I do, it's all the wiring. Yeah, my wiring is kind of crazy. But it does seem like, I just realized, I don't know, how is this? I guess it's not too blown out. I thought it might get blown out when I did that. What do I want to do? This. So this is the section of the railroad that it already has the wiring done. And the next step is that I need to start laying track. But the problem is as I've like, gotten these parts finished, all of this stuff from what? Well, who did you send it to? Did you send it to somebody else? Not too bad. We're used to the shine. I know. I gotta powder up. I gotta powder up my forehead a little bit. So I do have good AC. The AC is just off right now. Derek, is that person you, or is that person somebody else? Or are you saying that that person is me because I was trying to center up my camera a little bit earlier? So I'm working on this section over here now, the section down there, and that's the section with all the wires that still need to be connected to stuff, but things are already piling up in that part of the room. But I guess part of it is that's not even the messiest part of the room. The messiest part of the room is the part of the room that hasn't even really been started yet. And that's this part. Oh, and the camera's moving. Sorry, Dennis. It'll stop swaying in a second. But this is the messiest part of the room, and this is the part that I'm working towards. So eventually I got to find a place to put all this stuff. I see Dennis from Otter Creek was talking about, same here, Possum. What did Possum say? When I clean the clutter, then I can't find anything. That's so true as well. Dennis earlier was talking about coffee cups. The good thing is I don't drink coffee, so I don't have coffee cups everywhere. But I've just got like, I can't stop buying projects. I think that's part of it as well. It's not clutter because I can still see the bottom. Oh boy. Oh boy. Just wait. Just wait. There are a lot of wires up in my head, so that is probably where a lot of the things, you may have a coffee issue. Dennis, if you haven't watched any of videos, Dennis has about 15 coffee mugs of various model railroaders on YouTube, maybe more than that. But if you watch his videos, some of them are on purpose, that he's got them all over the place, but others I don't think is on purpose. I think he just has them all over his space. But yeah, this is the mess. So I guess things are kind of like progressing in a good direction, right? Like over here, this is operations-based stuff at least. I've got some tablets that I'm working on and some more car holders. I gotta blame. So there's this guy who's out there that he caused me to spend some money. And the reason he caused me to spend some money is he started asking a very good question. And I think this is another topic that I think is worth talking about. I just don't know like how we should talk about it because it's kind of a complicated topic. But the question was, how should you set up your fascia on an operation, like an ops based layout, right? So like if you're standing at your yard, where should you put your panel? Should you have drink holders? Should you have throttle holders? Like all that various stuff. Like what should you have on your fascia and what shouldn't you have? So I started looking around, and I do have some of these car holders that Roy Hardwick had gotten me, but I went and I looked on Micromark, and if you're an NMRA member, they have a partnership program that offers a discount on Micromark. And what I thought I was buying, so I guess the good news is, I thought I was buying one of these, so I bought 2 packages of these because I thought I wanted 2 of them. What I didn't realize is that there's 2 in a package. But the idea that I'm thinking of doing, and I'm not completely sure yet. I know I'm going to use tablets for, I've got tablets over here on this side. There are 3 right here right now. I'll probably have a 4th at some point. But these are going to be like my touchscreen panels. And I'll leave these as touchscreen panels so that I can kind of move them around a little bit. But I'm thinking of doing something like this, where these are kind of mounted. I don't know if anybody can see me. These will be kind of mounted right here. And then I'm going to put like a little like chair rail. Chair rail? Chair rail's not the right word. Like just a little narrow rail in front of this that you can stick other car cards and other little things like uncoupling sticks and that kind of stuff, like in a rail in front of it. And I don't think that's going to put you too far away from the layout, but it'll just kind of give like car card slots and places to put stuff. I don't think I'm going to put any throttle holders along the edge of the layout. I might, but I don't think so. But I don't really know. So Cameron from Caboose 121 says, since I got the email, the first was canceled for whatever you decide on for the holidays. Thank you, Cameron. Appreciate that. I will need to make a little side list of the stuff. My phone's ringing. If people do want to send money, I'll probably do it through PayPal so that YouTube doesn't take a bunch of the money out, but I will earmark this and make sure I hold it in its place for that occasion. iPad? These are not iPads. These are, and Cameron from Caboose 121 hates when I give this away, but they're not iPads. They are old refurbished Amazon Fire tablets. So these are 10-inch Amazon Fire tablets. They also make 7-inch ones. This is a 1080p tablet, so it's higher res than the old iPads that I have. I do have some old iPads, but they're all like 1026 by 768 or something. These are all 1080p 10-inch tablets. They're from Woot. They were $40 a piece. If you don't know, Amazon owns Woot. When they're going to, yeah, when they're going to like sell stuff off cheap, particularly their Amazon Fire tablets, they do it on Woot, and that's how I have gotten them for really cheap. So instead of having a static, so the other thing with the Fascia, right, is that he's talking about me ruining an iPad. Are you guys spilling stuff on? Are you guys spilling stuff on your tablet devices? I don't recommend it, especially things that are sticky like coffee with sugar in them. When part of the Fascia discussion and the Fascia decision is that I want to do things like have routes or make it easy to see on the panels what the path of travel of the train is going to be. And I know that if I create a fixed panel on the fascia of my layout, that inevitably I'm going to do something wrong that I am going to then want to fix. I don't know, light and sweet. I don't know. I don't drink coffee. We went through this already. I don't know. I don't know how to drink coffee. So yes, light and sweet is how some people. Russ keeps a bucket of rice around. I drink in the train room, but I don't put drinks on top of the layout. I always have, I have a little like card table that lives in the center that'll have drinks on it. But the fascia, once I start drilling holes in the fascia, I don't want to have to keep changing things. And I know I can make a separate panel and put all my push buttons and all that kind of stuff. But my thought was, why not just use tablets? And then when I want to change up my panels, I could change my panels to be whatever I want. If I decide, let's say I have a right-handed operator instead of a left-handed operator, we can just move the tablet from the right side to the left side. Let's say I decide that I want to mount the tablet overhead instead of on the fascia, then I just move the tablet. So I'm trying to do a lot of the things on this railroad to make it sort of flexible and easy to use and all that kind of stuff. Michael, that's yeah. My cat stepped in a tub of flux, then walked across my keyboard. I don't know. If the good Lord would have wanted sugar in coffee, he would have put it in the bean. I guess we know who drinks their coffee black. Lynn says, true story, last keyboard spilled coffee on it. Best Buy sold me a new one that had a warranty to replace, even if coffee is spilled on it. I didn't know that they did that. Russ dumped Crystal Light on his laptop. I have a laptop story. I started a new job. I was about a month into the job. They got me a brand new 2018 MacBook Pro, to start working the job. And I was at an event, one of the very first events that I was at, and all of the tables that we were sitting at had tablecloths on them. So I was keeping my drink on a table behind me just so I wouldn't spill anything. But the containers that I usually use have these tops on them, so if it does spill, like things won't spill, right? And I thought, like, I'm doing the right thing. If I do put this like down next to my computer, it won't spill and mess everything up. But then it was empty, and I decided I needed more water for it. So what I did was I took the top off, put the top down next to my laptop, took a bottle of water, filled it up, but it didn't fill all the way up. So I needed another bottle of water. So I put the mostly full thing of water next to my laptop with the cap not on it, next to the bottle, and I turned around behind me to get another bottle of water off the table that was behind me. As I turn around to grab the bottle of water, my legs caught on the tablecloth that was on the table, and I ended up dragging the tablecloth and pulling the recently filled, and I usually, like, this is a 32 ounce. I think there I had like 24 ounces ones, but I pulled the tablecloth, knocked the bottle over, and spilled the whole thing of water on the laptop. The good news was it was just water. The bad news was the laptop was a month old, and essentially I turned it off, let it dry out, and it worked for a while. And then it started to not work. Certain things started having problems. And the next thing I know, the USB ports don't work and other stuff. Luckily, I had full coverage on it, and it covered spills. And I think there was a certain amount of, money you had to pay. Like if you had to pay $50 or $100, but that covered all of the work. And essentially what they ended up doing was replacing the entire internals of this computer. And it's is it this computer? No, it's not this computer. This is what is this? This is a 13-inch or something. It happened to a 15-inch, but the computer still works. I still actually, the computer I think is the one that's upstairs. I still use it all the time. But yes, I poured a full glass of water on it, and that's what happens. Dennis says, how many operating stations will your layout have? Did you plan for them in the track plan, and will it affect your fascia at all? 100% plan for it in the track plan. I particularly, when I was doing more of a double level layout, I planned for it even more than I planned for it on this layout. But I did, even on this layout, considered where people would be for operating. So the thought is, based on the size of the space, that there will probably be 2 to 3 operators in the space. So this side here that you can't see, it's the side actually that if I do this, it's the side with all the stuff on it. So this is the main yard. This is the yard ladder is right under here. The engine facility is here. The fueling track is here as well. There's a rip track way down on the end over there. But the idea is that this yard is one operating area. So somebody would be standing here at this area to operate the yard. There is then nothing here. And partially that's because it's in front of the window. The other reason is just because this is the, where all the activity in the yard's going to be is on this side. So there's nothing over there in the way. The other kind of busy-ish secondary yard area is this area right here. So there will likely be another tablet somewhere in this area here. This is another smaller yard. This yard feeds a freight terminal and team track over here, and it feeds the car float and another freight terminal area and some other stuff over here. So theoretically, there can be somebody here, and then over here as well, there's what I call Manhattanville, which is the elevated section. So I think of my layout as having essentially 1, 2, 3, 4 areas that you could operate in, but I plan on setting up the space for really only 2 or 3 operators. So as as trains move around the room, the operators will shift places, and hopefully, I have lots of room on my floor. Yeah, I do. So hopefully the way people move around the lab. Now, if you've ever been to an operating session, and let's say you're in a huge space that is like 40 by 40, or some large room, then you know that if there are 4 operators or there are 20 operators, that everybody will be in the same spot in the room at the same time. So will operators be handing off trains to each other, or no? No, they won't be handing off trains to each other. The thought, my thought, is there will be a main yard master at the main yard that's over here. They will be responsible for a set of switchers that will switch out everything in the yard. There will then be a road crew slash local person. That person will take trains out of this main yard, and they will either do one of 2 things. They will take it out of this yard and they'll bring it to the secondary yard, and they'll drop it in the secondary yard, or they will leave this yard and they will have various drop-offs along the way. So they may leave this yard and have drop-offs at Manhattanville, or they'll come around here and they might have to work the freight terminal or stuff like that. So they'll, drop cars, pick up cars, and go back. What would be the third position, if I do have a third guy, would be that there would be a permanent person at this yard here. So you may hand off cars to the person at this yard here, but you wouldn't just hand off. You might drop a train for them, but I don't know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying, but I don't really know. I don't take my phone in the bathroom. I don't know what you guys are talking to. Will I stream the operations? I don't know yet. That is another thing on my task list that I've been thinking a lot about. When I had the other layout set up, I had a bunch of these. These are just, security cameras, and I was using these for streaming. I do want to get these set up again around the layout. I think if nothing else, it would be good to have these around and set up to start being able to show some of the stuff that I'm streaming. I just need to actually make the time or take the time to get those set up around the space. So I don't, it's hard to stream operations, because if you have a bunch of people, they're all like focusing on things. Andy wants to know where the crew lounge is. It's outside and down the hall to the left. So I think that's an Impractical Jokers joke, right? It's like outside and down the hall. I don't usually hand off my train until I know it's sold for a good price first. Yes, exactly. Phone doesn't belong in the can. Only op sessions I've been to at almost every show, like the fair, keeping track of your throttles is the biggest problem. I will likely have a drawer. Let's go over here again. So right now, just as an example, my throttles are in this drawer down here. So like you would pull out a throttle or whatever. So they're in a drawer, and that's also part of the reason for the rail that's going to be around everything, is that it'll be big enough that you can rest your throttle in it. I don't think I want specific throttle pockets. In my experience, wherever you put the throttle pocket it will be in completely the wrong spot. I should have picked a hobby where you invited swimmers over. A lot of model railroaders are larger than the normal. Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. That's true. Yes, Adam is somebody that could be a swimmer. Um, but yeah, maybe if we have 4 small people over, but it depends. Um, let's see. I'm a fairly small model railroader. Yeah, I'm not the biggest of model railroaders, but I'm not the smallest either. We've been talking. This is sort of an interesting question. We've been talking about how to best film an operations session. So not like a lot of people will do ops videos and it'll be one person like operating something, but to do a whole ops session, I don't know that wearing a camera is going to work because there'll just be too much movement. I think the camera would just move around too much. Although here's a second one. Yeah, not for trips to the can. Yeah, you need to make sure you take the camera off when you left the room. Dennis says, I wish I could attend an op session. Dennis, you can come out here. I will get you to many op sessions. We'll get you. I cannot begin to tell you how much I have learned by going to op sessions. By far, I've learned more at op sessions than I have from anything else that I have that I've done in this hobby. Yeah, Dennis likes when people wear GoPros. So Dennis, if you can, get some vacation time and fly out to wherever you can. I know we have something here called Island Ops. I'm working on heading up to Ron's place up in Connecticut for the day. I'll take the train up, make a whole day out of it, and go up there to see Ron's layout. But like through this, you'll meet people and find places that you can operate on. And I get it. It's not cheap, but having to build your railroad multiple times is also not cheap. And the amount that I learn, even going to the same layout more than once, um, it's just great. I'll be in New York City the week before New Year's. Unfortunately, I won't have much time outside of my kids' dance schedule to join any kind of op sessions. Joey, if you've got an hour and just want to swing by up here and just to even see my space. I don't know in December whether I'll have anything running, but I should definitely have some track down if you want to come check it out. Funny you should ask this. There are definitely people that wear Hawaiian shirts. His first name's Mark. I'm trying to remember his last name. But he always wears a Hawaiian shirt, and he is in this area and goes to Island Ops. Island Ops is called Island Ops because it is a part of Long Island, not because it is part of the islands. Although if you go down to the islands, there might be, there are probably some people in Hawaii as well. So Radio City, if you jumped on the subway, it's probably a 15-minute subway ride, maybe 20 minutes with all the walking included as well. I'm not that far from Radio City. I'm on the same island. You could and I have walked from Radio City to my place. It's not that far away. Andy, a step might even be able to tell you how many miles away it is as well. Yeah, that's true. Steve Childers and his shirts. Although now that he's moving to Oklahoma, I wonder if Steve is going to still wear the shirts or not. And Joey, if you come and you can't come up here, if nothing else, just message me. You're going to be right next to the Red Caboose, the hobby shop, which you don't really have to worry about buying stuff because, well, you might need to worry about buying stuff, but it's a museum of stuff to see. So, uh, Steve Childers, I believe somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know. I may have it wrong, but I thought that Steve Childers is moving to Oklahoma City. I think his daughter or somebody is there. Yeah, Alan Spitz is the owner of the Red Caboose. He is a character, is a way to put it. It's only, oh, yes, Andy, are 1 mile from me, but I think the Radio City Music Hall is slightly farther away than 1 mile. It is. So Lynn says it is Oklahoma City. So yeah, I don't know how far you are from Oklahoma City, Dennis, but you might you might have a partner in crime out there. All right, so it's 2 miles from me to Radio City Music Hall. So if you wanted to walk, it'd be about a 30-minute walk. Ah, there you go. I'm looking forward to the video when you and Steve meet. I think that would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun. It's easy to get to Heath's from Radio City. Yeah, Steve 87th PSAP was here. Steve actually came from New Jersey. He wasn't here with family, though. He was here on work, and he was able to get an evening off and just ran up here real quick. As far as I know, Steve Childers does still have... Oh, does Alan still have a cat? Alan, I haven't seen Alan's cat, I don't think. But yeah, you have to, Alan's place is in the basement, so having a cat is probably a really good thing to have. Yes, keeps the mice away, the rats away, and all that sort of stuff. Tommy, Mike, Trackside Mike's is in Canada. Dennis lives in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. I know he does, but you know, a 3-hour drive for someone in Oklahoma is like around the corner, right? You're almost trapped in the plane section. He has so many planes in there. So many planes. Randall just got back from Sioux City, Iowa. Hey Randall, how's the job stuff going? What's the plan with that? Wonder how far away Grandpa Rails is from Dennis and Steve. Well, Grandpa Rails went to Texas. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how far. I'm west of the middle of nowhere. I don't know what town. I just knocked things off the wall. I don't know what town Dennis is in to have any idea. I don't know anything about Oklahoma. I don't even know if I've been to Oklahoma. I've heard anything 3 hours can be disastrous. I don't know. I've only done a couple of 3-hour streams. So Texas, Grandpa Rails in Texas is 6 hours away. That's not too bad. Russ is 2,500 miles from all of us. Every single one of us. I don't think that's possible. That you're 2,500 miles from every single one of the people that are on here. You might be. You might not be. I just want to take a look at the poll. It looks like 56 people have voted in the poll. If you haven't voted in the poll, I'll keep it up for a couple more seconds. The question is my model railroad layout. And the first option is never has any clutter on it. And so far, 12% of people. I think that's pretty wild. 12% of people say never has any clutter on it. 5% says is clean as a whistle. So that's 17%. Saying that it is clean and clear. 40% say could be cleaner, but I can still use it. And 42% says it's buried under piles of stuff. So let's see if we can maybe get a couple more people responding to the poll, maybe a couple more people hitting the thumbs up. I'm going to take a very, very quick break and I'll be right back. I am going to jump out of here at 9 o'clock because I do want to see Mark Herrick over at second section at 9 o'clock, but I'm going to be back in 52 seconds after I just say thank you to a couple people that support the channel. Yes, the support of watching is much appreciated, and these people have gone above and beyond through memberships and other various stuff. Also, please support some of the commercial companies that support the various YouTubers, whether it's mine or others. They've really helped, at least me and others, grow our layouts.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Devon, I don't have a layout either right now, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Adam's made a couple of Iron Planet hobby purchases and have a list of more. Yeah, Ryan over there is a good guy. That is for sure. Russ says, my layout goes between totally cluttered to fairly neat 3 or 4 times a year. I do think what I am planning to do is I need to finish up the wiring over here in this section right now. If you looked underneath, you would see things are a bit of a mess. And when I say finish up the wiring, what I mean is finish up this stage of the wiring. This is only part of the wiring. There is more to do, but finish this part of the wiring. And after I do that, I think I'm going to spend some time trying to clean up. One of the things that I did when I started this build out is I got a storage space to move some of the clutter that I had out of the way. And I really want to try and get that stuff back in here, not because I want more clutter in here, but because I want to get rid of that storage unit and not keep paying for it. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but maybe I'll have some things for sale. We'll see. I don't know. You know, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Dwight, yes, use Mini Prints has a code. Mini Prints has codes for a bunch of different places, so buy a lot from them and buy a bunch of different things. Michael, that is a very, very good question. Why is everything that you need at the bottom of the pile? It always is. It always, always, always is. I got more dead roly-polies and spiders on my benchwork than train cars. Oh boy, that's not good. That's not good. It's interesting that you wire before you lay track. I lay track then wire. How does that work for you? Okay, so this I'm gonna need to. I'll give a little show and tell. Let's see if we can get this low enough to do a little show and tell and not make Dennis sick, because Dennis doesn't like when you move the camera around. So I'll explain my process and I'll explain my thinking. What I am doing is I am connecting up and installing all of the switch machines, which the switch machines include all of the feedback, the frog wires, as well as the LEDs. So the switch machines here, I'm using the smaller switch machines, so they're a little harder to see here, but they're here just like I have the DCC Concepts ones on the other side. Now, what you said about laying the track is very true. You can't really run the wires until you've laid the track. But I know where all the switch motors are going to go. So I can run all the switch motors because I've laid out where all the switch motors are going to go. I've actually drawn the track plan on my benchwork. So the next thing I can do is run my wires and just zip tie them in approximately the location they're going to go. I know that the holes for my track feeders are going to be pretty close to where I've drawn the track out on the boards. So drew the track out on the boards, decided where all the turnout and switch machines were going to go, installed the switch machines, did all the wiring, and then I left the wiring dangling. So this is actually feeders here. This is wiring for the LEDs. This is another set of feeders. So I wire this all down to these boards, this board down here, right? So there's detection, there's the motor, the switch machine controllers, and there's switch machine feedback. So all of this is going to get wired together so that once I lay the track, all I need to do is drill the holes and stick the feeder wires up through those holes and solder them in place. And they'll be close enough, and I left more than enough slack so that I will be able to get, everything lined up. Now, I can't tell you how well it's working for me because I haven't actually laid the track yet. So I don't know. I can't for 100% sure tell you that everything is going to work perfectly. But I will say that I'm pretty decent with wiring, and I think I know enough of what I'm doing that should I have any problems, I'll be able to troubleshoot it. But this is going to basically save me a significant amount of time crawling around underneath. Yes, so I'm able to do it because I've created a one-to-one track plan and printed it out, and I am making the commitment to stick with that track plan at least until we've operated on it a couple of times. I'm hoping I don't have any major issues that have to be changed and like a bunch of holes drilled, but I am suspecting there are going to be some things that I do need to change. Trackside Mike, here's a question. You have a track plan, then halfway through it, you change it with another hole in the wall. Yeah, so, I mean, what could happen to me too is this space that I'm in right now is a temporary space, right? I mean, I could be kicked out of here in 3 years. I mean, I guess just like anybody, right? I mean, anybody could have to move at any point. So part of building these control panels that I have down here are that I will be able to move everything fairly easily because everything comes back to several central locations. Dennis says, so you have not drilled holes to feeders yet. Yes, that is correct. No holes to feeders until. So I know you lay the track first. I don't really have enough room to lay the track and move things around without having to. I'm afraid of damaging the track. So my thought is that I do as much as I can underneath, secure everything down, and then I'm going to add the track on top of it. So that is my plan for my layout. The next plan is cleaning up. I do think I need to get things in a much better and much more clean and pulled together type of scenario. So I don't see them, they haven't started up yet, but I'm assuming they're going to start up in a second. So I did post the second section link, so if you want to open that up in another window, but I am going to close this party down when I see those guys start up. They have Mark Herrick, who actually isn't, I mean, he's not really in my area, but he's more in my area than some people are in my area. But Mark is going to be on there, and I think it'll be an interesting conversation. Heath, have you considered wired terminal joiners? I do have some screw terminals. I'm using lever nuts. I'm using screw terminals. I'm using some, definitely some other, various things as well. Thanks, Robert. The intro has started, so I'm going to post the link one more time and head myself out of there and see a bunch of you over at second section. Hope you've enjoyed my show. I hope you enjoyed their show. Please support your fellow model railroaders. We're all just looking to have a good time, build some layouts, learn some stuff along the way. From the city that never sleeps, farewell, model citizens.
It's all about humanity.